I'm Lisa and I will be going through the webinars with you today. I hope you've all got a coffee and some paper and a pen to write down any notes that you want to take home. So just follow us and we'll get through all the information we've got today. So first up we have an introduction and a welcome. So first we'd like to just do an acknowledgement of country. 30 Foot Drop acknowledges the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognises their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. We pay our respects to them and their cultures, to both elders past and present. Funding. 30 Foot Drop would like to acknowledge the Department of Communities Disability Services for funding this and many other initiatives. Without their support, so many projects such as Two Wise Monkeys would never see the light of day and the community would be so much poorer for it. This workshop is part of the realities and advantages of the Access and Inclusion grant awarded to 30 Foot Drop as part of an information, linkages and building capacity for 2018 and 19. Right, let's just go through some housekeeping before we start. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to monitor all of our live stream platforms. So if you want to ask us any questions, just head over to our website, which is just below this video. Head over there, www.30footdrop.com.au/live, and there is a chat box underneath. Ask any questions you like, none are off limits. We'll also be covering a lot of information in a short period of time. So we recommend, please, that if you can, just try and minimize any distractions. That way you can write everything down and relax and take all the information in. That'd be awesome. As well, please make sure that 30 Foot Drop is tagged in all social media posts done about today. So if you share the webinar or you share our page, can you tag us in it too? And also, if you know anyone that might benefit from these webinars, please share our information with them and like our Facebook and Instagram pages. That would be awesome. We feel that our message and knowledge should be heard for all the better of the community. Such important messages in here. We'll also be recording this session and posting it if you want to review it later. So if you miss anything or you want to go back over something, it's all recorded so you can watch it again later and take down more notes. So this is available on our Facebook page, Vimeo library and our YouTube channel. All of the research spoken about today is also all available on our 30 Foot Drop digital library. So if you head onto our website, go to sources and then go into resources and you'll find all the information we've spoken about on there. At the end of the webinar, it would be really great if you guys could fill out the short survey that we have. It's only about 6 questions. If you click the box underneath the video on the website, hit survey 2 and fill that out for us, that'd be great. It's so good for feedback and for the future. Right, presenter introductions. I'm Lisa and I am one of your wise monkeys. And I will just read a little bit about myself and my impairment. So I am hear no evil. Just by looking at me, you probably can't tell what I may suffer from. Probably not. Through me, you will realise that you hear no evil about impairment. My story is definitely a more hidden one. At age 8, I was diagnosed with mild dyslexia. Teachers used to hit me on the head, read out my low marks, yell at me in front of my classmates. Why don't you understand what's wrong with you? Making me feel completely dumb and unworthy. And for a girl, it just was made that much harder because it wasn't as common back in my day for girls to have dyslexia. So it was really embarrassing for me and I found it really difficult to go to school and communicate why I couldn't understand. I mean, not until I was older and I did understand, I knew what was going on with me. So with these teachers and people not understanding and being horrible, I was determined to prove all these people wrong. I knew I had it in me. I was stubborn, so I achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I still passed school, I still did well, but it was probably with 3 times as much work than anyone else, which is really hard when you're struggling. At present, I have multiple diplomas in the arts field. I've worked in galleries all over the world, organising exhibitions, all sorts of things. I have one in counselling, and I also at the moment have my own photography business, Lisa Hall Creative, if you want to head over there. So that is me. Now the other monkey is Ben, who is See No Evil. He is the brains behind this amazing project, and without Ben we wouldn't be where we are today, and what he's doing is just so cool for the community and helping people with disability and impairment get jobs and get heard. He'll be back tomorrow night, so if you want to see him or talk to him, he'll be running through Tapping In Part 3 with you tomorrow night. Okay, but isn't there meant to be 3 monkeys? Who do you think the third monkey is? Well, you guessed it. It's you. You will be Speak No Evil about impairment. So it's important to take all the negative things away from speaking about impairment. You know, we're all the same, we all deserve a chance, and these people looking for work are all just wanting what everyone else has, and they deserve it. So the aim of today's workshop is to turn you into a wise monkey. You'll begin this journey of realizing that impairment or not, we are all human and deserve to be acknowledged and treated in the same way as anyone else. Such an important message. Outline and method. Let's just go over what we're going to be doing today. So how am I going to get you started on the path of a wise monkey? Well, there's a lot to learn about people with impairment and how to employ these amazing people in your business. First up, we're going to look at disability employment providers, what they are and how they can help your business. After that, we will go through 5 tips on how you can prepare your business to employ a person with a disability or an impairment. To finish up, we will have an open forum where you can ask any questions you like. I will stop the webinar and you can type away and ask any questions, but as well, if you have any along the way, feel free to just shoot them at me. Right, so how are we going to cover all this? What will our teaching method be? The answer is fun, experience, and open, honest discussion. None are off limits. No questions are off limits. You can ask anything you like, even if it's nothing to do with the webinar today, or if it's a disability question or anything. Fire away. You'll notice as well there is very little written content on the slides. That's so that it makes it easy for people to understand, and also so that you can interact with the presenters and not sit there and try to read everything. So you're taking in everything that we're saying. Also, again, head over to www.30footdrop.com.au/live if you have any questions. Head into the chat box. Go for it. Okay, terminology review. To reduce confusion and understanding, I want to review some terminology that we will be using in these sessions. Okay, the first up is the difference between disability and impairment. An impairment is an injury, illness, or congenital condition that causes or is likely to cause a loss or difference of physiological or psychological function. In short, your impairment is your medical diagnosis. So my medical diagnosis as of 8 was that I had mild dyslexia. A disability, on the other hand, is the loss or limitation of opportunities to take part in society on an equal level with others due to social and environmental barriers. It is, as the word implies, something that makes you unable to access or participate in something. So for me, an example of that would be, or even someone with just dyslexia in general, too much wording, complex information, or stylized script can make it hard for people with dyslexia to understand, which then makes it hard for them to get the right information they need to use your service. This is especially important information to remember because some people's impairments are hidden. So, you could have a percentage of people that have dyslexia, which is probably quite high, quite a lot of people have it, that may not be understanding certain parts of your business or how it works. So think about breaking it down and just making it easier for people that may not quite understand it. Anyway, I hope that all makes sense to everyone. If you've got any questions, please just send them over in the chat box to me. Okay, so the next one is access. Access refers to the removal or reduction of physical barriers to participate in activities and functions of a community. At its core, access focuses a lot on the physical world around us and is easily assessed with a checklist. Inclusion is more of a psychological state of being and is the process hereby every person, irrespective of their age, disability, gender, religion, sexual preference or nationality, who wishes to, can participate fully in all aspects of an activity or a service in the same way as any other members in the community. Inclusion is making sure that everyone is able to take part and feels welcome. Okay, any questions? Let me just check that there's no questions. Right, okay. Next is disability employment services. Okay, so let's go through what they are and how they can help your business. Disability employment services help people with a disability to find work and keep a job. Providers of disability services are called DES providers for short. Through DES providers, people with a disability, injury or health condition may be able to receive assistance to prepare for, find and keep a job. How awesome is this? And who here listening has never heard of these? Hopefully there's a few and it could be life-changing for your company. Okay. DES providers are a mix of large, medium and small for-profit and non-for-profit organisations that are experienced in supporting people with disability, as well as aiding employers to put in place practices that support the employee in the workplace. So if you're having trouble finding work, please contact your local DES provider or have a look on our website for more information. They're just such a great thing to have in our community, and some of you may not know about it, or someone might know someone with a disability that doesn't know about it and really wants to get a job. So head into your local DES provider, there's lots around. Okay, how are DES providers funded? They are funded by the government. Providers receive payments for helping participants find and maintain work, so it's a great incentive. It's a win-win situation. Payments are structured so that providers earn more funding when they place more people into lasting employment. This acts, like I said, as an incentive to make sure that they make the best possible matches. So, they're not going to go and put someone in there that's not good at that job or doesn't understand that job when they're paying all that money. They're getting paid to put that person in the right place. Next is services. So there are three services that we're going to go over, which are job matching, role creation and support. Let's go to job matching first. How do DES providers make sure that they find the right match? It's about understanding both parties. The provider is the link between these two, the candidate and the business. DES providers will help find the job seekers' career history and aspirations, will help to understand their barriers and work with those. They work with the employee by exploring their capabilities and qualities. They also will help get the candidates job ready through work experience, training and volunteering, making sure that the candidate is as job ready as they can be. So they're not just going to put someone in work that has no idea what's expected of them. The DES provider buddy or mentor that particular person has will go through everything with them. Everything will be explained to the business and to the person that's going to be working for them, so that it all runs smoothly. And 10 out of 10 times it does. Okay, where are we up to? DES providers will help the employee. DES providers will help the employee and the employee with understanding the new employer's business needs, describe and discuss business dynamics, and create a suitable role. Once the employer and the employee fully understand both sides, then they match them with a job that meets both parties. Okay, next. Where do the participants come from? Where do the clients come from? DES candidates are not forced into employment, which is good. In saying this, you haven't got someone that doesn't want to be there. They already are actively looking for work through their DES provider. They come to the DES provider in a number of ways. Word of mouth, self-referral, following a discussion with a team, family member or friend, self-referral through exposure on social media platforms, referral from a health professional, community agency or school, referral from Centrelink or a government agency, self-determining move from another provider, community talks, help desks and pop-up shops, employment forums and expos. So there's a lot of places that are advocating for these people and talking about these people going to the DES providers. So it's all out there, it's just about accessing it. Okay, so this is something to think about too for a business. Role creation and job carving. What is it? This is about improving a business efficiency, finding tasks that can be done by people less qualified. And it's also cheaper, allowing the more qualified to be more productive. So, an example of this, there are 4 mechanics at a workshop. They spend at least 30 minutes a day cleaning up the workshop. During this time, they are not creating profit and costing a total of 2 hours' wages. Employing someone to come in for 2 hours a day at the lower rate will allow the mechanics to keep working and generate profit for your business. So how amazing would it be to feel as a business owner to employ someone that really, really wants a job? And how beneficial would it be to you to save time and money by employing someone who is working, by employing someone to come and do those smaller jobs? It would just be amazing for your business. A positive win-win all around. I did actually notice the other day, I was walking through town and I went into the Good Guys. I noticed in the Good Guys there was a guy in a mobility scooter, and he was actually working there. And I thought, there we go. That's a company that has made it more inclusive. This guy was working there, he was happy, he was loving it, and so was all the staff. It was really good to see, and you don't see it enough. And we're hoping that more businesses embrace this for the future. Okay, hopefully I'm making sense so far and I'm not rushing it too much. If you have any questions, please head over to the chat box on the website, www.30footdrop.com.au/live. Now we're going to look at support. As well as job matching and role creation, DES providers also offer the following 2 free services. This is candidate support and application assistance. Let's go through these. Candidate support. DES providers support their candidates in their role by regular on and off site visits, where they ensure the candidate continues understanding the employer's expectations and needs. They also look for any requirements for assistive technology for both parties. So they see if there's anything else like a screen reader or a different typewriter, a different keyboard for the employee. They monitor developing requirements to maintain performance. They deal with any questions or issues swiftly. Most DES providers will be contactable outside of the office hours. So the employee, if they're feeling anxious or anything's going on, they can ring their mentor, which is their DES provider, and talk to them, which is really nice. It keeps these guys going, because imagine being left on your own and you've got all these other things that you've got to take on and you find it a bit harder than others. It's just nice to have that person there to talk to. Let's go over application support now. DES providers will provide free assistance with the following applications: wage subsidies, workplace modifications via job access. Both of these subsidy sources are covered in the Tapping One webinar. So if you missed that was yesterday, you can either re-watch it on the social media platforms, Vimeo library, Facebook or YouTube. But if you wanted to see it live, so that in that way you can ask questions, it will be on again, not next week, the week after. Head over to the website and you can write your name down to be reminded when it's going to be starting and watch it. Okay, how to get started on all of this. First of all, get in touch with your local DES provider. Provide them with the required information. Employ a matched candidate. The DES provider will gather required information and start organising the employee. They will also fill out the paperwork and any other requirements in order to proceed with employment. This would be so stress-free for both parties. Imagine all the paperwork being done. You pretty much just have to figure out what job these people need to do. So now you can enjoy your wonderful new employee. Okay, next is preparing your business. So now that you have committed to employing someone with a disability, what's next? Here are 5 tips to get you started and ensure your new employee reaches their full potential. Candidate selection, first one. Getting the right match. As with all hiring, it's important to get the right match. A person's disability may be quite irrelevant to the kind of work required, which means people with a disability are employed all across the board. Using a DES provider will give you access to a far wider talent pool of people, along with objective and relevant advice when making your selection. Number 2, disability awareness training, which is so important for everyone to understand, both for the employee and the employer. Many people are apprehensive when dealing with a new team member that has a disability. Conducting targeted training for your staff can address these questions and help people be more confident in working with someone with a disability in the business environment. This promotes positive attitudes and teamwork and ensures everyone is treated equally and fairly. Funding for the disability awareness training can be funded through Job Access. So if you want to have a look at Job Access and what they can supply for you, there's lots of awareness training for disability services and for coming into your business and talking about their needs. Right, accessibility. Preparing the workplace so that it is accessible will allow the employee to do their job and help with a smooth onboarding process, making sure that the person with the disability is involved, because they will know how best to make it work. So there's no point you thinking that you know what they might need at the workplace. That's okay to put some things in place, but also ask them, does this work for you? Do you understand this? Do you need more time? What other sort of things do you need to make this better for you? So the needs will vary depending on the employee's disability or health condition. Funding is available for these modifications, which is all available on our website. So if you want to look at funding, you can go to the website, click sources and then resources. There's lots of different resources about funding and job access and all those sorts of things. Other considerations may include roster and work times and practices, as sometimes it's harder for people, some people with a disability, to be at work at 7 a.m. in the morning. Probably not that possible. You know, some people have carers to help them get out of bed. You know, some people might not sleep very well. There are lots of different things going on where you can just work around what hours are going to suit them. Look at accommodating their needs. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, okay. So number 4, induction and mentoring. Where is it? Your new employee should receive an induction relevant workplace training and ongoing support through a designated buddy or mentor, especially in the early stages of employment, which is important. Think about all the reasonable adjustments beforehand that may be necessary to make the induction and intake process more mutually rewarding as possible. So again, to take away the anxiety and all of that sort of thing around them coming to work in your business, just helping them to feel more comfortable. And you know, if you've already gone that step of wanting to employ someone through a DES provider, then you're probably going to want to do those things anyway. Number 5, I think, yeah, this is the last one. So post-placement consultant. If your new employee is connected with a DES provider, then they will have a consultant allocated to provide post-placement support completely free of charge, which is another awesome thing. In addition to supporting the employee, the consultant is also intended as a go-to person if they have any questions or concerns. So with the post-placement consultant, both the employee and the employer can both go to this person for any information. It's not just for the employer, it's also for the employer to help understand the employee's needs a bit more. So use the consultant as a free resource to you and your team to ensure things run as smoothly as possible in the first few months of the role. The DES provider wants to make this work placement as successful as possible. So both parties want it to work. And it's important for both parties for it to work, because you know you've invested all that time and not money, just time into it. So you know you want to make it work for these people. And how amazing would it feel to know that you've given someone that has been possibly looking for a job for years and years and years a job? It'd be a beautiful thing to do, and hopefully our community can become more inclusive in doing this. Okay, so that is it for today. Hopefully I didn't rush that too much. It's a bit of a short one today anyway. But now I am going to ask anyone if they've got any questions. So I will be sort of pausing the screen and I will be back, let's say 3 minutes. So I will be back at 11:33 to see if there's any questions come up on the chat box. So think about what you want to say. Head over to the chat box, which is on our website. Click the link under this video, which has our website address on it, and then click live, and you will be able to chat with us, well, with me. Okay, we'll see you in 3 minutes. Okay, so thank you and welcome back. So there wasn't any questions, so that's fine. But if you do have any and you want to ask any in future, just feel free to contact us. Also, could you please go over to our website and fill out the survey? It is tapping in part 2. It just means a lot to us for feedback and stuff for future. I hope you enjoyed today's session and you start to think about hopefully employing some of these amazing people into your business and company. Thanks for joining me today. I will be doing another one tonight. If you had anyone that you thought may be interested, send them along tonight, 6 p.m. Western Australian time. Awesome. We'll see you tonight.